The message I want to share with you today, or this evening, is a message about you. And the message is, it's time for us individually to look at our lives. More importantly, it's time for us to look at what's positive in our life and what's negative in our life. And you know, I really hate the word negative, although it does apply at some times. But anything that is negative in your life, it's just a challenge to empower yourself. The bottom line, with so many people that I work with, whatever is going on in their life, it comes down to basically self-worth, self-esteem, and self-love. Now, it can disguise itself as a fear of abandonment, or a fear of being alone, or a fear of money, or a fear of being ill, or a fear of illness, or a fear of not being appreciated or loved or accepted, whatever it may be. Because remember, there's only two energies when we boil it down. Anything that is of love and not of love, period. Oversimplification. But if we look at, if everything boils down to self-worth, self-esteem, and self-love, that's the lesson all of us came to learn. And even the great avatars. We look at Jesus, Buddha, John the Baptist, and some others that I can't remember right now. When we enter into this planet, we have to abide by the rules, frequencies, and vibrations of this planet, and whatever the inhabitants on this planet have created. And if we look at what has been created on this planet, then we have to live within the rules, and then we have to be the vehicle to change the rules for the most part, not entirely, to consist of unconditional love, allowingness, and non-judgmentalness. But if we look at all the chaos that's going on in the planet, I'm talking not only politically, but otherwise all over this planet, there's a reason for all this is going on. And we have to recognize that whatever challenges we have in our life, we chose those challenges to learn about self-love, self-esteem, and self-worth. Many people would choose to incarnate in very poor countries or poor conditions to change them. Many people will incarnate into very dark regions of the earth where they're in slavery or whatever it is. Now, it can be karmic because maybe they enslaved other people, so they have to experience it. But whatever it is, it always boils down to what are we to learn in this life? So let's suppose you were a slave master and now you're a slave in this lifetime. Once you understand all the aspects of it and appreciate why slavery is wrong, even though you may or may not recognize you were a slave master in the past life, then you learn to love yourself for having that experience, that you were strong enough, self-esteem and self-worth to go through this and no longer needs to be in your life. And many people go to me, well, how do I change? I go, it's simple. The way you create it, you change it. Oversimplification. You have a fear of swimming. How do you overcome it? You learn how to swim. If there's lack or poverty in your life, how do you change it? Well, I learned what it's all about. I don't need this anymore. Then you go apart and you learn how to improve your status in life and to rebuild your life. And I ran into a man who is going to be a future client, and he was talking about his life, and he wanted to start a new career, and he pounded on the doors to start his new career. It was in the labor industry, and he created an empire in 10 years by doing that. He decided he didn't want to be poor anymore. He decided he wanted to be positive, and he decided he's going to build a business. And he did it. 10 years, he went from zero to in the millions. Pretty incredible. And it just as a blue-collar laborer and starting a business. Why? Because he had self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem, and decided to get himself out of the rut. And that's what I'd like all of you to look at. What rut are you in? and who is controlling you. The problem is human beings are easily influenced by negativity. Isn't it strange? Very seldom people will remember the good things someone did, but they always remember the negative things that happened to them. The good things get put on the back burner. And that's because what are the first words we learn when we're growing up as a child? No, 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 don't do this, no, don't do that. Instead of saying, well, if you touch the hot pot, Michael, you're going to burn yourself. So I would suggest you think about twice touching the hot pot. No, don't touch the hot pot, you're going to burn yourself. And that's the way we learn things. And that happens to all the childhood. What is interesting is, if you look at your life, instead of letting other people say, this is the life you should live, this is the way you should behave, this is, and you got to dress a certain way, dress for success, and so on and so forth. Well, some of those things you have to do. But on the other hand, you do not have to listen to anybody that puts you down and say negative things about you. Because any negativity that anybody sees in you, it's a reflection of what they see in themselves. Isn't that interesting? What they see in themselves, they see in you. So birds of a feather flock together. And this is a learning experience. And as you know, some of the times I say, we are the student and the other person is the teacher, and other times we are the teacher and they are the student. What I'd like each one of you to look at is, what lessons did you come to learn in this lifetime? What experiences? And it boils down to self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Once you understand that, the next question is, how do I rise above this? What is my major challenge? Not problem, challenge, because challenges can be overcome. And then ask for true source inner guidance. How do I overcome it? And you may not like the answer. But on the other hand, you ask for the answer, and if you don't like it, then you don't have to accept it. But again, that's lack of self-worth, self-love, self-esteem, and remaining stuck. Because everything in our life is a payoff. Everything. You eat too much, payoff is you're too heavy. You don't exercise, you may come down with arthritis or cardiovascular illnesses. Or, if you don't want to improve your lot in life and stay stuck at a job, payoff is you'll stay stuck at a job. You see, you are unlimited in everything you can achieve. And sometimes we don't see the signs, or we neglect to look at the signs, or we think it's too arduous. But the secret is to meditate and ask the true source, or God the true source, whichever you prefer, to open up the door to help you to do it. And I will tell you, I practice this because there are things I really don't want to do. And I feel forced. When I do that with the true source, all of a sudden I get a burst of energy. And I do it in record time. So my message to you is, look at your life. We'll continue more of this information next week. Ask what you need to change it to bring about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. And remember, this is for you and not for your family, for anyone else. When you do it, it influences everyone.